You ready? All right. I'm pretty get ready to do this interview with Leifel Jackson up here at Culinary Barbecue. One of the most famous restaurants in Little Rock, Arkansas, y'all. That's me, Philip Banks, aka Uncle Phil, on my way to meet with Leifel Jackson, one of the most well-known and respected OGs in the South. Everybody know who he is. If you don't, you just ain't been looking hard enough, or you don't remember what you done seen him before. Yeah, this is the nigga from Bangin in Little Rock. We'll get into more of that later on. Right now, let's go in there and have this sit down. See if we can't put two heads together and come up with something. You know how it be.
Fiance wanted to drive. L-E-I-F-E-L. Chopped beef Jackson. Well, baked beans and potato salad. Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
It's going. As a child, when I was 13, this all happened in 1994. I started going through child abuse. The first time it happened was the night the Razorbacks won the championship. And like I tell you, it was two things that happened on TV the first two times I got my ass beat that I never forget. The first one was the Razorback championship, and the second was Bangin in Little Rock. When Bangin in Little Rock came on, I got my ass beat that day, and I ran away. I was staying in Fort Smith. We had just moved from Little Rock. So I'm staying in Fort Smith, and I ran to my auntie house, 19th Street to 36th Street. Then when I get there, they had just ate dinner, they sitting down, they fit to watch Bangin in Little Rock. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I want to see this shit. And I remember the part where I saw you standing in front of the greenhouse, the Crip house.
What's really happening is we got some problem. We got some guys riding through that's from the other side. They may not be hostile, They may be hostile. So we take cover and get prepared. You know, it's best to be safe than sorry.
We told the cameraman, hey, we could do 186, man. We're gonna get in the house, we're gonna look out, we're gonna protect everything. And the next scene cut, you tell them, come on in the house. Next time I heard was, tell him, motherfucker, get my money. And it was a little kid. And I'm looking at him. Blue rag around his neck, blue and white hat.
Come on in. Y'all did get the house.
Shoot the dice, dude.
That's right.
They got that 6 right there. 10.
Just, I feel like people use, I was telling him right before you pulled up, especially with Crip. People hide behind it. They don't stand on it. And so it's to a point where it's no point. There's no point. Y'all is doing more harm than you ever did good. So it's time to stop that. But it ain't that easy. Right. And that's the part that's always stopped everybody and say, man, well, we need to stop. I came up with a way that might work. I'm gonna tell you more about that, you know what I'm saying, towards the end. But I feel like it might work. And my thing is, I got a plan, but I never had the voice. I never had the voice so people know me and they're gonna listen to me. See, people Google your name and they pop up and they can say, oh yeah, girl, you got a list of stuff. He been doing this, he real, he know. Me, it's like, bro, you ain't been doing this, but you just started? I ain't just started. I just started doing it on film and I just started making my voice getting heard. But I've been telling people, I've been telling my little homeboy, I've been telling other people little homeboys, other people kids. Right. But now I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Look, everybody needs to hear the message. Because when the bad message came, it was loud and clear. It was loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? There was no confusion.
No one was prepared for it. It came well, I guess there's a couple of things I was want to say, man. First of all, what set did you in the
East Coast 6'9".
East Coast 6'9". Okay, where did I see East Coast 6'9", homie said, and I am bluff.
They got some East Coast down. I think a lot of East Coast down there.
Down there is East Coast 6'9". But yeah, so at the end of the day, though, man, you know, the best thing you can do is start. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of people that I wanted to always. I want to do just like them. A lot of people don't know. Before I went to California and came back home and started cripping, my idea, I wanted to be the greatest chef that the world ever seen. Because I had been cooking at restaurants since I was like 13 and 14 years old. I started off at the Sembos, which was on Cantrell. A lot of people don't remember that. I went from there to the Little Rock Country Club, from there to the Pleasant Valley Country Club. I opened up the Capitol Hotel. The camp used to be the Camelot, now it's the Doubletree. I was a sous chef there. I was an executive chef. So I could cook, man. I could do an ice carver. You draw me something, I could do an ice carver just like it. Yeah. You know, I did a ballerina. I don't know, it used to be this man that go around the country and they paid him big money to do ice carvings at these big events. Excuse me. This one, I was a chef at the Camelot Hotel. This man refused to do this ice carving of this girl was a ballerina because he said, well, my work is too good. I don't take impromptus. And I did that ice carve. And it was purple and gold was the color of the little girl ice carving. Yeah. And I made the ice carving purple and gold. You would have thought it was the dress that the girl, the little tutu thing that she had on. She was standing on one leg. Now you take a 200-pound block of ice and you have a ballerina standing on one leg. Come on, man. That ice, after 5 minutes, that ice gonna break.
Yeah, you gotta go to work.
You have to be smart. You have to put something in there to hold it up, down through there, and through the ice to hold it up, and you have to refreeze the ice completely and do it. So overnight, that's what I did. I added a little food coloring and made it purple. Then as it was thawing, then I froze it again, and I kept doing it until it was a deep purple. Man, I blew the dude out. So I could do ice carvings, I could cook, top chef for the year, 3 years straight, young dude. But I couldn't read. All right. And my brother DeWitt they were old gangsters. My brother shooting. They had pool homes, and they came from North Little. We were originally from North Little Rock, and we was one of the first families to move in Little Rock, down by Central High School, which was now the 4 block, where my house was over there on the 4 block. But I came a long ways to go to California to become this great chef. And when my brother DeWitt picked me up, you know, I'm thinking Hollywood. And we ended up in the projects at Watts, right, at Imperial Courts. So that was my really first. I had met some gang members. Now, before, I wasn't the first gang member down here.
Right.
You know, there was some other gang members that was out in court. They was out there slanging. But
just, I feel like people use, I was telling him right before you pulled up, especially with Crip. People hide behind it. They don't stand on it. And so it's to a point where it's no point. It's no point. Y'all always doing more harm than you ever did good. So it's time to stop that. But it ain't that easy. Right. And that's the part that's always stopped everybody and say, man, well, we need to stop. I came up with a way that might work. I'm gonna tell you more about that, you know what I'm saying, towards the end. But I feel like it might work. And my thing is, I got a plan, but I never had the voice. I never had the voice so people know me and they're gonna listen to me. See, people Google your name and they pop up and they can say, oh yeah, girl, he got a list of stuff. He been doing this, he real, he know. Me is like, bro, you ain't been doing this, but you just started? Mm-hmm. I ain't just started. I just started doing it on film and I just started making my voice getting heard. But I've been telling people, I've been telling my little homeboys, I've been telling other people little homeboys, other people kids. Yeah. But now I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Look, everybody needs to hear the message. Because when the bad message came, it was loud and clear. It was loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? There was no confusion. No one was prepared for it. It came late. Well, I guess there's a couple of things I was want to say, man. First of all, what set did you in the East Coast 6'9"?
East Coast 6'9". Okay, where did I see East Coast 6'9", homie? I am bluff.
They got some East Coast down. I think a lot of East Coast down there.
Down there is East Coast 6'9". But yeah, so at the end of the day, though, man, you know, the best thing you can do is start. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of people that I wanted to always. I want to do just like them. A lot of people don't know. Before I went to California and came back home and started cripping, my idea, I wanted to be the greatest chef that the world ever seen. Because I had been cooking at restaurants since I was like 13 and 14 years old. I started off at the Sebos, which was on Cantrell. A lot of people don't remember that. I went from there to the Little Rock Country Club, from there to the Pleasant Valley Country Club. I opened up the Capitol Hotel. The camp used to be the Camelot, now it's the Doubletree. I was a sous chef there. I was an executive chef. So I could cook, man. I could do an ice carver. You draw me something, I could do an ice carver just like it. Yeah. You know, I did a ballerina. I don't know, it used to be this man that go around the country and they paid him big money to do ice carvings at these big events. Excuse me. This one, I was a chef at the Camelot Hotel. This man refused to do this ice carving of this girl was a ballerina because he said, well, my work is too good. I don't take impromptus. And I did that ice carve. And it was purple and gold was the color of the little girl ice carving. Yeah. And I made the ice carving purple and gold. You would have thought it was the dress that the little tutu thing that she had on. She was standing on one leg, man. You take a 200-pound block of ice and you have a ballerina standing on one leg. Come on, man. That ice, after 5 minutes, that ice gonna break.
Yeah, you gotta go to work.
You have to be smart. You have to put something in there to hold it up, down through there, and through the ice to hold it up, and you have to refreeze the ice completely and do it. So overnight, that's what I did. I added a little food coloring and made it purple. Then as it was thawing, then I froze it again, and I kept doing it until it was a deep purple. Man, I blew the dude out. So I could do ice carvings, I could cook, top chef for the year, 3 years straight, young dude. But I couldn't read or write. And my brother DeWitt they were old gangsters. My brother shooting, they had pool homes, and they came from North Little. We were originally from North Little Rock, and we was one of the first families to move in Little Rock down by Central High School, which was down the 4 block, where my house was over there on the 4 block. But I came a long ways to go to California to become this great chef. And when my brother DeWitt picked me up, you know, I'm thinking Hollywood. And we ended up in the projects at Watts, right, at Imperial Courts. So that was my really first. I had met some gang members. Now before, I wasn't the first gang member down here.
Right.
You know, there was some other gang members that was out in Highland Court. They was out there slinging. But back then, there wasn't no beef between no Crips and Bloods and stuff down here. It wasn't none of that. And so I had already met some Crips that was already down here before I even went to California. And I went to California to become this great chef, man. But I got up there, I ended up in the projects in Imperial Courts, you know? Yeah. So I never got a chance to become that great chef. And I used to hang out with a dude. We used to go and walk out on the Imperial and lift the train thing up. We would sit there and make $500 in some hours, lifting it up for people that give you the money. Me and the OG dude, but you would have thought he was a bomb, but he was an OG Crip. And that's how I started hanging out. And you know, with my brother DeWitt, he stayed there in the project, so I was staying in the project. I wanted to be a great chef. You want to know what I wanted to be? I read that. I want to be this great chef, man. Right now, I still cook at home. You know, I love cooking. I love cooking. So that's what the Crip thing took me away from. Yeah. You know, it grabbed me because when I went to California, I'll never forget, I was sitting on the back of my brother's house, and I sit back there and hit me some wet. And I was sitting there looking, and this dude, I ain't gonna call his name on there, but he was the OG around there. And he came up, and this one dude had got shot because they took his car, and he went back and he had got shot. Well, he came back. When he got out of the car, the dude walked up to him, and he would walk. He had a pit bull. He had a pocket full of money. And I'm like, man, oh, cool. You know, I'm sitting back with this, and he walked up to the dude, and he said, "I love you, cuz." Put his arms around him, and you will see on his back. Oh, he had me right there. Yeah. Because I was raised in a house with my dad. It was like, men don't hug other men. You know, that's just out of the question. I never hugged my brothers. Yeah. Never hugged my daddy. And I'm seeing these two dudes that I know wasn't flaky hugging each other. They had me right there. So I'm like, I like that. And then when the other OG, he was like, man, this, you know, so he told me a show. He was like, shit, I'm an OG. I've been doing this since them really my young homeboy. And that's how I kind of learned right there through him and Papa what was going on. The things that I got in trouble for in Southern California, I can't say. I can't never say. Right. But I ended up having to leave California. He called me Little Rock when I was in California. And
that's
so
my nickname in Orlando.
It was it. Yeah. I got a chance to do some things, and I never forget. I was selling these satellite numbers to the Mexicans so they could call overseas, and they stand out there and say the Cali at us. And the police pulled up, throw me up against the car, and the one black police, he was crying. He was like, you know, why don't you just go and go? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you can leave. You can leave. But I thought something was strange because he reached over, he was like, you like this? And he gave me a gun, showed me a gun. So he said, go and rub it. I said, I don't want to rub that. He took my hand and touched the back of it. And he said, now you can go. So at that time, I had my wife with me. And I was like, I'm not finna go. And he just started crying. He said, man, whatever I see you at, I'm gonna kill you. He said, starting tomorrow when the sun come up in Southern California, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, wow. So I don't know exactly what I did, but I was down there doing stuff. You know, that day I left because I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't move because he was trying to shoot me. So right when they pulled out, me and my fiance, everybody say this one little kid when I was telling that speech, he was like, "So what did you do, Mr. OG?" I said, "Shoot, what y'all think I was scared of the police?" And they look at me for a long time. I said, the next day I was on a thing back to Little Rock, Arkansas. Man, dude was gonna kill me. He wanted to kill me, and I didn't know why. And he said, when the sun come up tomorrow in Southern California, I see you, I'm gonna kill you. I tell you, you're in, I'm gonna kill you. So of course we went down to the county and told them that that our baby was sick. We had no money. We need to get home. So the county down there in California, because I had already rented on Skid Row, they give you they give you rooms, everything. You just sell them, because I stayed in the projects. And so I came back home. And when I came back home, I never forget. I came home and I went out on my back porch, and my mama was sick. And I went out on the back porch, and I was like, wow. My daddy said, babe, you got to go with us to go see her. She ain't gonna last. I walk in there on my mama. The doctor said his exact words. She can hear you, but she can't talk. And I never forget, I walked over to her, and I said, Mama, her eyes popped open too. And my mama said this. She said, baby, I knew you was gonna come. I've been waiting for you. She said, take care of my babies. That's your task. She was talking about my two boys, my boys and my daughters. She was like, take care of my babies. And right at that point, all of the things start going off, all of the things, dun, dun, and my mama passed. Yeah. So I came home and I walked out on the back porch. The little stuff that I used to get high off of, I threw it out in the back of the alley. And at that point, it wasn't no looking back for me. I knew what I needed to do. I needed to take care of my family and my kids. So, I didn't start banging in Southern California. Yeah. I started banging in Little Rock. So it was a totally different from a lot of people that go to California and come back, gang member. No, I started banging here now. I was gay to game now, but I knew how the game worked. So I didn't come back like all green. I knew exactly what to do. Right. Little Rock wasn't ready for that. And I immediately started, getting my packages, doing my packages, flipping. Next thing I know, I was one of the first blacks to have a house out in Pleasant Valley. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was taking it to a whole nother level when I was doing it. And I always tell the worst part. Yeah. So we might not even have to get to your questions, and I hope I'm going to answer them all. Right. But my whole thing was I needed to make the money, so I ended up buying walkie-talkies for the young dudes in the neighborhoods, and we were the base, and they would ride. Tell us what was happening. Police, base one. I had 10. I would get them $100 a day. Base one. We got one time on 14. Base one. So we took it to a whole nother level. Like there's a lot of people right now didn't know how we didn't get all of those charges that they got. It's because we knew when they was coming. Right. So, my other part that I learned was I can't make the money if my neighborhood didn't make the money. So I made sure everybody in my neighborhood was making money. I made sure that Mr. Odom and them had food in their house. I made sure nobody had their lights off. I made sure the kids, 4th of July, I would go buy like $30,000 for fireworks and just put them on the porch on the 4th block. And kids would come from Highland Courts all around. They would come and they would just pop firecrackers. See, my thing with kids was, I didn't do kids, period. I didn't do old people, period. Now if you're in the game and we crossed, I was probably the worst person you wanted to cross with. Cause my motto was, you get me, I'm gonna get you back. And I had money. I'm gonna get you back. That was my motto, but I did not do babies. And I'll never forget, one day we were going to get this dude. He stayed out on oh Lord, 65th and Butler.
That's where I
Never
grew up
forget. We riding through, we rolling, and I got a chance to meet this lady. They were opening up a church right there on that little thing right there on Butler and 65th. They were putting up the cross, and the dude was standing there with the baby in his arm. And when I roll with people, well, we'll get to that. And as we was going by, I raised up and I'm finna get him and I seen the baby. But the lady that was laying up the cross, she looked right in my eye and she said, I laid on back. Later, after I did all my time and come back home, I went down to Tucker Max to speak to the lifers down there. This dude was in there. And I told him, I said, man, he was like, man, it's terrible. I said, no, this is good for you. He said, why you say that? Then I told him about that day. He said, man, that was my sister baby I had him on. I remember that like yesterday. I said, well, so that lets you know that you being in here is good. Yeah. Because that day was gonna be terrible. And so that's a little brief start. Now I'm gonna let you get to some questions. I like to go on. We set the mood now. Yeah. Come on now. Come on.
Some type of way. What did I do with the
It's over there. And I've always been the type of person to take care of my neighborhoods too. I wasn't just the blue dude, because my money, I had some bloods and see folks, and one everybody working for me. Totally different, look,
The thing what people don't realize is, and I'm gonna get into it. Like, look, this shit that we doing was started by kids, teenagers, niggas that wasn't old enough to go get a job.
Right.
Thing about it is, the people behind them, as they got locked up and murdered off, them people grew up, became grown men,
right,
and never did grow up.
Right.
And the thing about it is, the way they look back, okay, and generation come on after them, generation come after them, like you say, you end up in prison, graveyard. So now this new generation is coming up under you, no leadership, no moral, no respect. They don't know how to do things. Right. They thinking it's all about a blue bandana. And they think it's about, man, we gonna fight these dudes, or we gonna kill these dudes. And I'm like, no, bro. When you break it down, that C is community. What do you do for your community? Because my thing is, it was a time where old ladies be on the corner and see Bloods and Crips, like, oh shit, I ain't getting my purse snatched tonight. Ain't nobody breaking in my house tonight. Them Crips out there.
That's right.
Them Bloods out there. But now when you see old lady on the street, them Crips or them Bloods come down the street, it's like, oh shit, them gang numbers. Yeah. They the ones gonna snatch the purse. We the ones gonna, you know what I'm saying, put the drugs in the community, tear shit up, kill everything. And then the weak ass excuse is, man, I got too many people in jail for this, man. I done got too many homeboys and died. I can't quit. Yeah, that's stupid as hell. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
That's totally crazy.
It's too many kids out here without their fathers for you to keep doing that shit. When you see your homeboy kids walking down the street, you know he dead or in jail. You ain't doing nothing for the kids. You ain't taking them shopping. You ain't trying to make sure their mama got enough money to feed them at night. But you know that's your homeboy kids.
That's right.
You was right there when they was born. You used to play Crip music around them, put bandanas on them, play with them. It was all fun and games. But now they really need you and you ain't there.
And that was the thing on with me back in the days when I was one of the OGs in my neighborhood. I took care of everybody. I made sure everybody's bills was paid. I made sure that those kids had shoes to go to school with and things. And I would take almost over 100 kids every 2 weeks. If their grades was good, I would take over 100 kids to the skating rink on Bowman. We would load all up in cars. There would be over 100 and some, not mentioning adults. And I would pay their way in. I would feed them. Every 2 weeks, we would go. Every 2 weeks. So I was giving them an opportunity to get out of that circle. Then they were able to be with other people that they couldn't be with, like some of the little blood kids. they could go with us because I did not do kids. If a kid was with me, you don't have nothing bad to say to no kids. Cause that's where I played it. Because at the end of the day, I hung in Highland Court, boy. All my youth of selling drugs and stuff when I was younger, I was in Highland Court. That's why I got family, man. We were family. So when I was rolling, we all like this here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of people didn't understand that. They had to have been raised here in Little Rock to understand that part. Why I could pull my blue vet up and ride through Highland Court without nobody like that blood, whatever. I didn't have to deal with that because of where I was raised at. My club sit right on Oak Street. The Pioneer Lounge is right on Cedar Oak. They never, the Oak Street Bloods never came around and were like, "Oh, gee, you the club here." They never bothered me. But then some of the other homies went down on Oak Street, and from what I'm hearing, because of the murder thing, it's never a thing, so I can't talk about that. But there was some babies shot down there on Oak Street. That bothered the shit out of me. I don't want to do babies. Yeah. So that separated us some too at that time because the ones that the people were saying did it, I had issues with that. Yeah. I don't do kids. I never did do kids.
No, I don't respect it at all.
So with that being said, we everybody was indicted. All of the neighborhoods was folded. My neighborhood was indicted, a 16-count indictment. Yeah. The difference was I was able, because I had, and my federal judge say, I don't know if you planned this or you was lucky. He said, but you got the best attorney in the world. And with that, my attorney was prepared to beat every case on my indictment. But they wanted me. They wanted me to the extent that the U.S. attorney wanted me, that Bob Goldbar was his name. They wanted me. So if I plead, everybody else in my indictment go free. What did I do?
Took their time.
I took the time. I had to have my girl. They ended up labeling her a snitch. She wasn't a snitch. The federal is different. You got to have somebody has to say. You can't just take the charge. So I had her to say that the blue car on the side of her mama's house was mine. I had her to say that so I could take the charge for everyone else. That's part of the game. That's real game. So, but she ended up having to leave town. Yeah. They were throwing firebombs in her car and everything. She ended up moving out of state. But even when I would tell my brother, man, that girl didn't snitch, he was like, yeah, right, okay. They was out to kill her.
I know how the same thing happened on my charge. I had, I got locked up for a robbery. I did 7 years on 10. When they got caught, it was me and my partner. He was on the driver's side, so they gave him the charges. Mm-hmm. Well, we got in that thing. I did the robbery. He wasn't with me. So when they came in there and told me, they like, look, man, we're going to send you home. You're going to get death by receiving. You better go to the jump.
Right.
Damn. Right. And I went to him, I said, man, go on, give me the paperwork, man. I did this shit. Yeah. What you mean you did? I said, man, dude wasn't there. He was at North Little Rock High School graduation, bro. I did this shit. I said, man, I ain't never seen a nigga like you. Yeah. They went and got dude, brought him to the door, bent down to get some water, but he was holding him by the handcuff right at the door where I was. Dude just he said, man, I can't take nobody else charge, bro. I'm so glad you let me go. I said, man, go on home, bro.
Go on home.
Go on home, bro.
That's real. That's how it's supposed to really be. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I went and did my time. I came home, but while I was down there, I worked on me. You remember I told you I couldn't read or write? Yeah. Yeah. I worked on me. I did the same thing Malcolm X did. I got me a dang I had me a Quran, a Bible, and a dictionary. So every word that I would see that I didn't understand, I would look it up. So not only did I learn how to read, I learned how to understand what the words meant more than I did people who was able to read. And so with that there, I also said, and I was in Memphis. We was in there, we had 8, me and my homeboy, Lil Al from Deuce Trey. And he was like, I was like, man, when I do touchdown there, I'm gonna do some different stuff. And he'll tell you, he said the same thing. He said, OG, if you go out on the streets, them young dudes ain't gonna follow you doing right. Fast forward to me getting out of prison, he down at Tucker Max doing his life bid, and he looked up at the TV and he said, oh, y'all wait, that's my homie on the TV right there. And so he had the captain or whatever it is reach out to me. That's how I ended up going down there. And he started a program called Dignity. So we were up with him, helped him get a documentary going on his thing. And he tell the story. He was like, y'all, he the one let me know that we can do this. Now, Al got heart. He's home now. Yeah. And he's doing exactly what he said he's going to do. He's starting to work, going around, and I'm about to plug you in with him. He go around and talk to kids. He worked for the city of Little Rock, but he also have a program in North Little Rock. So it's a lot of people out here doing stuff right now. It's just that everybody's like this.
Yeah.
Before I just bounced back. I broke my neck about 7 months ago, and my nose completely.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here talking to you if you let regular society say that.
You want to know something strange? Back in June, I drove an 18-wheel off a mountain.
Oh, my goodness.
Right off the mountain. Broke my leg, scars on my forehead. That's where they can't bust my head open. But, yeah, I'm the only thing made it out of the truck.
Well, at the end of the day, you're supposed to be here. Yeah. You and I are supposed to be here talking today. You know, prior to me breaking my neck, I had did the unimaginable. I had reached out to all of the OG gang members, and we had all started meeting. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if you've seen some of that on television, but we started meeting and we started doing a whole lot of other things. So I still got the blueprints. Yeah. Actually, people sit in front of each other who had shot each other. Oh man, you couldn't, you know, that type of thing there. You can't even say what the feeling was. You know, one of my home girls, she just came and put her, after we walked out, she put her head on my shoulder and just cried. She said, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, OG.
And see, that was one of my questions I wanted to ask you. I'm like, just so other people would know, like, as deep as you was in the streets when it was really going down, when you see some of them same people that might have shot at you, or you might have shot at them, or they know something went down, that it was a problem, and you can see them same people right now today, ain't none of it bullshit.
Right.
And it's like, people don't understand. I tell them, man, look, I was telling him earlier, I said, man, look, with me, that cripping was so far to bro, I was fighting niggas and I was banging before I even got put down on the hood. I didn't know what hood I was going to end up on, but I was still throwing up cripping. I was fighting. Right. And there was one point in time where it was some dudes, they was in Jacksonville, they was folks. And we just all, it was me and the dude I called my little brother, we was walking. And they went off, they was cool with us at first, they was on bikes. But they rolled off when their homeboy came in the car. So they talking to him at the car, we waiting at the corner because we was all walking together. We giving them their respect, talk to their homeboy. So while we talking, their homeboy yell at the car, hey, which one of you niggas a crap? I said, hold on, car, what are you saying? Oh, you a crap? I'm like thinking to myself, nah, but hell yeah, what's up? And I used to just do that type of shit. But that same dude now work at the liquor store down the street from my house. And I go in there and I see dude, and I tell him, I'm like, man, I see this man around town at work. I see him around town at Little League football games with his son. What I look like beef with a man out here trying to raise their child.
That's, you know, and that's growing up. Right. You know, and my whole thing about growing up is evolution. We can do things and be the worst at doing them, but if we don't evolve, we're going to go down the drain with the rest of the trash. Right. You know, you still see people standing out and they start looking at all that. Come on, it's time to move a little differently. Yeah. You know, when we meet now, let's you know, we can still get together in the backyard and do our little thing and throw it up if we need to, inside of a house. But hanging all out, doing the like we're back and doing the 80s and the 90s, we have to evolve from there. Right. I want to be with you. And we at a nice restaurant, nice club, dressed up, having us some nice dinner, having us a nice drink. That's how we're supposed to do. We're supposed to evolve. You know what I mean? I seen Snoop Dogg give Warren G a brand new Camaro today, and a brand new motorcycle, because when they go ride together now, him and all his homeboys, they go out and they ride motorcycles together now. You know, or they get in their low riders and they all go ride together. They ain't fight. They not fighting. So that's evolution.
Still hanging together, having the same fun without the bullshit,
without the mess. You know,
and
so
like,
you also see them with with Bloods, and so we're not there no more. And a lot of people would ask you, why the Crips and the Bloods still banging today? Those are not the Crips and the Bloods that you were from our time. Those are some kids that's banging off of Facebook and Instagram. Okay, and that my son, my grandson was killed right down here on Martin Luther King. He was tested. I mean, one on Thanksgiving, he came over and ate with us. I was at my center and we ate Thanksgiving dinner, and I told him, "Yeah, just get out." I'm like, "Mashawn, you just got being shot in your chest with a .45 automatic." I was playing with the gun, Papa. I said, "It don't matter. God was telling you that you're gonna have to do something different."
Slow down.
Most lovable kids you could ever love, but on the streets, he tested you. So not only did here's the part about it. I know his mom never like all them dudes here, but he was testing. I had to see stuff how it really was.
Yeah.
He's sitting in that dang park over this antenna and was on video load his gun like, "Yeah, we finna go test these dudes." Rode down there, started shooting at the dudes. Had my other grandbaby in the car and 3 more other people. Go down the street, turn around and go back. And the next bullet hit him 1 inch from what the other one did. And I'll never forget, I was laying in the bed and somebody said, I'm laying in at night at home by myself, somebody said, "Papa." So I jumped up and I called his mom. I would say, "Shamara, where you at?" She said, "I'm down at the police department. They got Brittany back there." I said, "Shamara, Mashawn dead." She said, "What?" I hadn't talked to nobody. I said, "Baby, Mashawn dead." And she just started calling, "Why y'all didn't do this?" My grandson got shot 1 inch from where he had that last bullet. 1 inch. Okay, so they didn't charge the dudes that shot him because he was tested. They didn't go back and charge them dude with murder. They was in there sitting on their porch and stuff. He was testing it. So I'm saying to say that, a lot of that, what we're dealing with now, has nothing to do with gang banging. It has a lot to do with some person on here saying something bad about this girl's leg or what she wore the other night. And that's their beefing now. It's not about, hey, my thing. And I did a thing a while back. My thing wasn't really about banging. It was about my money.
That's another thing I want to say here. These dudes today, they don't know. All they doing triple the evil and getting 1/3 of what we was getting.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, y'all out here gang banging and sleeping on somebody's couch. You gang banging and you asking for a ride to get to where you need to be at. You ass backward. You supposed to be taking care of people. You're not supposed to be out here begging for people.
But that's not the case nowadays. You got a lot going on. But do I believe that our youth and our families can still be saved from this ignorance?
I know they can.
I do believe. I'm a believer. I just know that it's going to take all of us. And I know it's not going to be nobody from out of state that's going to come with this hell of this thing that we're going to do. It's going to take us to go back into our communities and create our communities the way that they was when we were raised up.
You ready to hear my plan?
Talk to me.
My plan is, first of all, we need to talk to the people who is active. And just not give them an ultimatum, but just let them know what's coming. And what's coming is this here. We grown, we done made our decisions. We laying in the beds that we made. And we still got a choice right now that we want to stop this shit, keep going. The people that stop, good, but stopping ain't enough. You got to go back and try to fix some of the stuff you messed up. My thing is, I feel like since everybody who really is out here, if you know, and I'm talking about Bloods, Crips, folks, Whites, Lord, everybody, if you know what your shit really about and what you supposed to be standing on, then you know you're not. You know your homeboy's not, you know your big homeboy's not, your little homeboy's not. And with that being said, if you got any damn shit, then we all should be able to agree that we should be the last of a damn breed. This shit that we doing that went, it ain't what it used to be. It was sugar the shit. And it's time to kill it. But the thing about it is, like I say, they done tried a million times to go to people and tell them, man, you need to quit gangbang. And people get a dumb ass excuse. My thing is, okay, well, if you want to keep doing it, you keep doing it. But do us this favor. Last of a damn breed means stop recruiting. You know Crips ain't doing supposed to be, but you don't want to quit. But ain't no more Crips coming today. Ain't no more Crips coming to Little Rock. Ain't no more Bloods coming, no more folks, no more white. None of that shit. We done with it. These kids need to give them 5 years. I promise. If you can get these kids 5 years to go to school, to walk their neighborhoods, to go and not have the peer pressure, to not have the influence of going to the game.
But I don't think that pressure is even out here nowadays. The most of the pressure that they're getting is coming off of social media.
It is the influence.
You know, but this is one reason why it was really important to me for our meetings to be televised.
Yeah.
So when we would meet, we would have the owner of Fox 16, good friend of mine. I mean, not the owner, the director, he's a good friend of mine. So we would definitely have media there. Yeah. So at the end of the day,
I was thinking about trying to get something down here today for this meeting, but I didn't know how you feel about it. Though.
Man, let me see if I can. I'm gonna show you something, man. What you should do is go in and Google Fox 16 Leifel Jackson and see the amount of people that we had at those meetings. And what we did not do is because I broke my neck, we didn't get a chance to split out. We had made it to where the OGs was feeling good with each other. Yeah. The next step was each one bring one. The next meeting, each one bring one. The next meeting, each one bring one. So everybody will start feeling a little bit more comfortable. Then we'll start doing different events together. Yeah. That was my whole thing. But like I said, you know, God wanted me to chill out. I broke my neck. And so I'm not gonna question it because I'm still alive. Okay, I died for a few minutes, you know. Broke my neck in 2 places. I was gone, you know, and that's a whole totally different story. But you know, I think that's gonna be the next move. That's something that I'm working on. So I'm actually gonna, you know, it's amazing that you talked about it. Guess what? Those opportunities gonna pop right back up here in a minute because I'm gonna actually start putting us back together.
I want to be part
of it. We've
already
got the format for it. We have the places to do it. I talked to Mayor Scott about a couple weeks ago, and I told him we needed 2 more other places so we could kind of rotate where we meet at.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually waiting on a response back from him to see where we can have, you know, first couple of meetings. We're gonna need it to be a little secure there.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real, and that's so we can focus on what we're doing and not sitting there looking like this here. Right. You know, we got to have a little security. Let's see if I can find this picture. Also in that, my thing was putting back the whole community. So we had gang leaders, OGs from every neighborhood.
Yeah.
We had Little Rock police officers. We had Pulaski County sheriffs. We had some pastors. We had some mothers who had lost their kids. So what my idea was, bring our neighborhood. Right now, I know we all kind of going through some things, but we got to come back together. And as we plan to help all of our neighborhoods, we can plan better.
Yeah.
We want to just plan with 2 people over here, 3 people. We can come together and start planning stuff as Little Rock, North Little Rock, Arkansas, not the state of Arkansas, not off the 4 block, Wolf Street, or South End, or whatever. We can start planning as real people that want our communities to do that. That's my vision. So that's what tomorrow I'll start reaching back out. So now you know, I would definitely want you to be a part because it's been going on and it goes right until you just told me what your vision was. And I'm sitting there like, we working on this vision. All we need is your component in there. Need you to come on in there too and share with everybody. This is what you think would help. See, because I may have a few good ideas. He might have a few good ideas. But now one of us gonna have all of the good ideas.
Right.
And they're gonna work when we all come together and do them together, not separated, not me trying to outdo this person or him trying to outdo me. That's our future. You know, our kids. Man, I got 72 grandbabies. I got 8 great-grandbabies.
Yeah.
You hear me now? 72 grandbabies.
I can't imagine. I'm waiting on my first child right now.
Okay, so I'm
got about
telling
6
you,
months.
at the end of the day, I want to leave them something better.
Right.
You know, as I worked on my movie today, I'm almost done with the pilot and 7 series because it's gonna drop like that. The pilot and then the series.
Yeah.
So, man, I've been working with the.
What's the name of the movie?
We haven't even named it, but it's my story. But some of it we had to move it around because there's just certain things you can't talk about.
Right.
It wasn't like I was just some soccer dad.
Right.
You know, so we had to fill in some spots. You know,
I want to be in there.
So it's gonna be amazing. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna love it because you would think that, but me being an OG Crip, that my life was a gang life. I had an amazing life, man. It wasn't all gang. Okay, my life wasn't. I wasn't a gang member since I came on this earth. I lived a life, so I was like, you know, I lived a life, so I got a chance to do other things. And I told you my theme, I love to cook. Man, you know, so I told my story has some of everything. Now, when I was banging, was I notoriously banging? Oh Lord, ask anybody in this world, all across the country. I'd have been all across the country, and I got a medal from a 5-star general. I went down in Kentucky and trained one of the biggest job corps. And when I finished, I went to walk off because they cried, they laughed, and I walked off. And the guy said, "My name is Billy." And he said, "I'm a retired 5-star general." He said, "And they'll tell you you're in the military town right now." I didn't really give out medals. And he said, "Come walk up here." And he told me, he gave me that medal, and he said, "Look at that." And he said, "Read it out." I read it out. He said, "I can tell you got a burden." He said, "I want to let you know something. I'm going to give you this medal. Your debt to your country has been paid in full." And he didn't know then, but that lifted something heavy off of me. Because I can always sit down and think about something I could have did to help and all of the people that died during the time when he was banging and all of that. I always think about that. But I always felt I had definitely partially responsible. But when he said that, it meant a lot to me. He don't know how much to know that my debt to my country had been paid. Then that gave me an opportunity then to start really working on some other things and helping some people a lot more, you know, because I was still wondering, man, what can I do? I'm going to do this. I was burning myself out.
Right.
I didn't have to do that, you know, no more. I've helped a whole lot of people. My thing is I had to look at, even when I was banging, I helped people. I took care of my neighborhood. You know, we banged. We didn't have no robbers. We didn't have, like you were saying about the old lady walking and her purse package. We didn't have no robbers. We didn't have no burglars. First of all, man, it was good to get a chance to meet you.
Thank you.
Personally, you know. And I think that, you know, where you're trying to go and what I can see too, I think it'll all fall in. We just got to come together and work together. And it's not going to be just you and I. It's going to take all of us to make this difference in our city, man. And then once we do this in our city, the ripple effect can go all across, you know, our nation. But it's going to take all of us. It's not going to be a blue that's going to stop this.
Right.
It's not going to be a red that's going to stop this. It's not going to be a black and blue or black and gold. It's going to take all of us, you know. And with that, we got to drop a lot of our stigmas One of them is, oh, man, the police this. We're gonna have to work with police officers in our neighborhoods. I went to trying to think where I was. I was in St. Louis, I think, inside of a lockup with some young juveniles. And they were all rowdy and whatever. I said, y'all close your eyes and think of the worst police officer you could think of. And man, they got the rocking, yeah. I said, now I want you to think about this county, this city, and this state with no police officers at all. It happens every time. All their eyes popped on. They were like, I don't think I want to stay where there ain't no police in. Right. Because they understand what the real concept of the law is. So just because you got some dirty police officers, remember we had some dirty gang members that was shooting other gang members that was from their own sets. So you got dirty people, but that don't mean that we don't use the good people to try to fix something that we all broke a long time ago. Right. So I've been actually like you noticed that picture. We had law enforcement, we had pastors, people, moms who had lost their babies. That's what it's going to take for us to make a difference. One of them young dudes are going to have to look in one of them mom's eyes. I want you to, and see when she talk about her baby, they got to feel that. Because now they're just doing it off of here. And if they playing them games can have you numb to everything. You walk up shooting a person in the head on the game, you feel like, man, I'm just numb. Right. But when you talk to that mom, she's sitting there looking at you like, my baby, I can't see my baby's face. They pull my baby's head off, baby. When they saying that, they're looking at you in your eyes, it has an effect on you. And a lot of them be trying to be hard, but it has an effect. It might not get them right then, but later they'll be like, wow, that lady bothered me. And she was saying that. Look up, when you go get another thing, I want you to look up Leifel Jackson and the Judge Hatchett show.
I seen that today.
Okay, I did a joint for the Judge Hatchett kid.
I didn't see the actual interaction. But I seen the part where she was talking to him. Yeah. About she had some special people for me.
Well, you got to go find the other part in the show where I took him out to College Station to meet Miss Flowers. Miss Flowers' son was shot in the head right here on Confederate by his own friends. Okay. And some more people. I took him in the funeral home and with that slab laying out in there. Yeah. I say, shit, is this where you want to be? He was like, oh, Lord. So you give them a chance to see some of these things that they don't see. They just see that little stuff. You can be a straight coward and ride and shoot out the window. Cowards can do that. But to be able to look a moms in the face and say, I'm finna do better, ma'am. I'm gonna try to do better, and hopefully I can save some other person. That's hard to me. That's hard. Right. You talking about a hard dude? A dude that can do that? That's hard to me. Shooting a gun? Man, I was raised in a hunting family. We used to hunt for our food.
I told him, like, look, before, this probably was at the beginning of the year last year. Every dude that I knew that was a Crip, Keytron, all of them. I sent them all a message, long message, but the same shit I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. They're sitting there, a lot of them read it, some of them didn't read it. And I just told them, like, basically, bro, I'm letting y'all know what I got going on. At the same time, I'm letting you know this is my city. Y'all don't got no more power over the city, bro. You ain't no more OG status over these people because they look how you leading them. You're not leading them. You ain't lead me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I went to prison, following behind y'all. Mm-hmm. And now people following behind me not gonna make that mistake because I'm smart enough to say, you know what? Not only was I wrong, I was dumb as hell, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life jumping in y'all way saying, hey, bro, don't do that. Right. Hey, bro, stop. Yeah. No, hey, bro, don't look at him. Right. Because I'm telling you what, you got shit going on. Mm-hmm. It look good from a distance. But if you were to really go over there and ask that man, what type of problems you facing in life? Is your bills paid? Do your family respect you? Do they love you? Like, do you, at the end of the night, when you lay down, what bothers you at night? And you'll realize, bro, it's the same shit that bothers every other man. Mm-hmm. Being a Crip or a Blood didn't take none of them problems away. It added more. It sure did. It added more stress. And not only to them, to the people next door, the people down the street, people they ain't never met. Like, I didn't realize when I went to jail, man, and I had this big thing, I'm not getting on the witness stand. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm not speaking on my own behalf. I'm not speaking on dude. I ain't got nothing. And when I finally went to trial day, my lawyer said, You sure you don't want to get on this thing? I said, hell no, I ain't. I wanted in my paperwork, I never even got on this thing. You say, yeah, but look at your mama out there. You don't want to apologize to her? Say, your grandma out there crying. They crying about you. You got them up in here crying. You need to get your ass on the stand and man up and apologize. And I thought about it. And I said, you know what? She right.
That's real man stuff right there.
And I had to get up there and man, not only my mama and my grandma, but the person I robbed was in the courtroom. One thing they gave, I got 10 years on the 70%, but they was offering me 60. And against my lawyer will, I wrote the victim and apologized for what I did. And my lawyer said, oh, hell no, you just admitted to it. I said, well, I got caught red-handed.
Right.
I said, man, I feel sorry for you, bro. Hey, that ain't, my mama ain't raised me like that. I'm out here doing
and that ended up helping you in the end, didn't it?
Man, that woman got on stand with that letter and read it to the judge. And then she cried and told him, please don't get a young man all the time.
Right. Sometimes, you know, what the normal, today's time, we have to do the unnormal.
Right.
Because normal people do this and do that, but nowadays, in order for us to really have an impact in our communities, our kids, our little brothers, you know, little sisters, whatever, we have to do our normal stuff.
You got to stand
You
up.
know, when I first came home, I got 2 kids. Look, one in September and one in October. A girl in September and a boy in October.
Yeah.
I ended up having to raise the girl by myself. Okay, my daughter's 22 years old. She was raised by a gang OG. Okay, everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, what is she gonna do?" Well, right now, my baby does a website. She does web design. She got her own place. She's living good. Her brother's playing football in college. So just because, because we went through that, don't mean that our whole generation have to go through it. But in order for them not to go through it, we've got to speak out against it.
Right.
Now, have I said that I'm not? You know, have I spoke out that I wasn't? That I'm gonna wear my blue. I'm gonna do me, but I'm not banging.
Right.
I'm not gonna be pulling no guns. I'm not gonna be doing none of that with nobody. We're gonna all be able to kick it. And I want your kid wearing that red shirt to come over to me and be saying, help me buy my thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want no us separating because of the clothes we wear that we didn't even create.
Right.
You know, we didn't create these here Dickies and stuff. Man, that was created. So why would I be tripping over a young man that's wearing red and flamed up in red? Why am I tripping over him? He got the right. He bought his stuff. He got the right to wear that. But you know, back in the days, could come through the hood like that. You know?
And people don't understand. It ain't like you see the red and you hate the red. No, you seen the red and you perceived it as a threat because you know what's
at that time. You know what was coming.
It wasn't just because he had on red. It was like, no, I know what the person wearing red do to the person wearing blue.
That's right. That's right.
I just happen to be the person wearing blue. So when I see him, I'm on high alert, or I'm making my move. But like I tell people, man, it's like, man, we was brought in their way of thinking. We wasn't born in their way of thinking. And just like you was brought into it, you can be brought out of it.
That's right.
One thing, like you said today, the internet, we got people that's pushing agendas. We got rappers that's gang banging after the word and ain't never gang banging.
Ain't never rolled up on that.
And I tell them, like, I hate to say it, but we were one of the biggest influences NBA YoungBoy. This man he killed 150,000 people in his last 17 albums, but the last 17 albums were done from the house on house arrest. You sitting in the house safe and sound, ain't made a video past your driveway.
Right.
But these dudes is buying your albums out here killing people.
Right.
They are sliding, they riding, they spending
and using your
everything
stuff
for real.
You know?
And it's because it's brainwashed. And I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. I remember when they used to try to talk to NWA and be like, well, y'all know y'all doing this. They be like, no, we just telling what's going on in the hood. We like reporters. And I'm like, yeah, they telling the truth. But now I'm like, that's bullshit.
True story.
I'm like, because you might not want to, but these kids look up to you and they imitate you. I did it.
I was part of the Little Rock Nine this last year, the honoring the Little Rock Nine.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to be with them. And so one of the other people that came down was DOC from NWA.
Yeah.
Man, we got a chance to really kick it. He's a pastor now. And one thing I told him, I said, well, it's me and you. I said, the things I did to y'all music, he just jumped his head. He said, man, I know. He said, I be thinking about that. But
and you know what? Perfect example. When I finally seen the movie, and everybody else seen the movie, and they were like, hold on, you mean NWA wasn't really gangsters?
right.
And
right.
I'm like, man, do you know how many gangsters they created?
Yeah.
Do you know how many gangsters Snoop Dogg created? And you wasn't out there doing
well,
none
see,
of
the
shit we was
difference
doing.
is, like, some of them come from a banging neighborhood, but they never really banged.
Right.
Now, but Eazy-E banged.
Right.
Snoop Dogg banged. Yeah, where he came from 21st Street, they were banging. Warren G down, they was on 21st Street was banging there in Cali there. So it's a lot of them that did have some of that, but it was a lot of them didn't really get that. Like Dr. Dre never banged.
Ice Cube, all of them. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, when most people was joining gangs, y'all was joining NWA.
But as they got older, they was able to call their neighborhood. I think Ice Cube 111 Hood. So they were able to also represent the neighborhoods in a different way. Yeah. So it's a big difference. It's a totally big difference. So, and I guess I'm saying that to say though that, we're still writing our story.
Yeah.
So just because of what we went through in our lives, the bad and the ugly, that's not the end of our story. Our stories can end with however we want it to be written, because now we're writing our stories.
I'm gonna tell you, I felt like today was the beginning of my next chapter.
Okay.
The better me. And I made a thing on Facebook right before I came up, and I told him, look, I've been talking this talk for a long time. It's time to walk the walk.
Okay.
It's time to do it.
One thing about me though, if we once we get going, I'm gonna call you here the next day or so and like, hey, we meeting. So what as you put together what you did, your robbery, the time you did in prison, they sent me to 5 federal prison because I was a shot caller. I started off in FCI Memphis. They sent me from there to Lewisburg, United States Prison, and I was in a hole for a year and a half because they knew I was coming. They was out there kicking and wanted to kick it. I went and did 2 years in Raybrook, New York, at the top of Lake Placid. They sent me from there to oh Lord, what's the name of the little place? Ford City. They had just opened it up. It was brick and concrete and dirt and concrete. So I stayed there for about a year and a half. They sent me. I did my last 2 years in Seagoville, Texas. So that wasn't my legacy to do that. My legacy is now that I've also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Martin Luther King Foundation. I've been gave honor, so
that's the type of stuff like I seen today on Facebook when Nick got the Black Excellence Award from Little Rock. And I said, you know what? That's mine next year. I'm gonna do what I got to do to make the city of Little Rock recognize that I'm going hard for them.
I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you something. I need to get your number. I'm gonna send you something. And it's my last documentary. And the name of it was, I have produced it. I put it together from beginning to the end. It's called The Rose That Grow from Concrete.
Yeah.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it because it closes out the Bangin and Little Rock parts.
Yeah.
And as we're starting to go into totally different vibe now in our cities.
And that's another thing I want to talk to you about. I want to see if it was any way, and I know you probably already know, that once we get all this stuff rolling, we can get a part 3 and let them see that banging shit could be over with.
Yeah, we could do that, but we don't have to. Let's think about that. Yeah. Whenever I wanted to do one, the only thing about it is that HBO still retain the rights for that.
Yeah.
So with that, they're the only entity that could do a Bangin in Little Rock Part 3 would be HBO.
Yeah.
The dude that I did my last documentary with, he owns Chipotle. But and they did great. The documentary I'm gonna send to you is awesome. It is not Bangin in Little Rock because they had two different. There was two different reasons why they were done.
Yeah.
The first Bangin in Little Rock, and then the Back to the Hood when I came home from the feds, and then so the next chapter on that is The Rose That Grow from Concrete. And it just shows people like ourselves that been through something, who came out the other end and doing great work.
Yeah.
You got to see it. Oh, man.
Man, check it out. I think we might need to get a part 2.
Let's make something happen then, all right?
We can make it happen.
All right.